Right, so welcome back, episode 30, No Cap Sports Podcast. And we back to you with another heater. So Josh, start it out, my G.
My bad, bro. I was, had to draw a little inspiration before we started. How y'all doing today?
I'm good, bro.
I'm good. I'm just confused.
Hey, bro. You got.
You know who is confused? Nate Robinson.
Oh wow! Quick! I was just about to say that's crazy. I ain't.
You think he knows his name right now?
No, sir. He was probably singing. He thought he was a Marion or something. They look kind of the same.
His kids getting bullied right now at school.
Wow. Somebody say he started a race war.
He probably told the kid, do the dishes. The kid like, or what?
I see.
Hey, this kid is probably so disrespectful right now. Imagine seeing your pops get knocked out on live TV, bro.
Not only knocked out, face first onto the canvas.
He was moaning.
Hey, imagine your kids getting on Twitter and seeing Nate Robinson challenge and you just slumped.
Oh, Snoop Dogg was the commentator. It's not. This is a simulation, bro.
That might be one of the greatest sporting events of all time, bro. From Snoop commentating to the actual fighting we saw, bro. Because Jake Paul and Nate Robinson fight, bro, that was just hilarious, bro. Twitter went crazy.
Great comedy.
And then seeing Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. get in there, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Boy.
Mike Tyson was trying to kill that man.
No,
bro.
for sure. I think Roy Jones thought that, I think he thought Mike Tyson was on a buddy system. You ain't going to hurt me. I ain't going to hurt you. And that was not what was going on
not
at all. And he definitely, he talking about some, Mike Tyson like, yeah, we're going to do this again. We're going to do this multiple times. And,
man, Roy Jones Jr. Like,
he was promoting his gloves and getting up out of there. No, sir.
I did it for Kobe. That's it.
Oh, God. He did it for Kobe and that chick, bro.
And Florida, the state of Florida.
I'm about to say shut it out Pensacola about 77 times in 30 seconds. Never seen somebody prouder to be from Pensacola. But into this 5 segment. On Fujiano, I think Vance qualifies as the local Fujiano expert on this panel. He just dropped the mixtape Gutter Baby. You told me you didn't listen to all of it, but of the part that you did listen to, how were you feeling about that?
I mean, I'm a Fujiano fan. He's one of those guys, he's more of a, if you got to go see him live or watch like his music videos just to truly see how hype he gets when you're listening to it. But I mean, I like the overall.
I feel it. He just released a single with him and Pooh Shiesty's first day in LA. It's going pretty crazy on YouTube. I think it's already at about 3 million views. So I really like that song. I've been listening to it a lot lately. So have either one of y'all heard that?
Yeah. You put it on the album too.
Oh, he did for sure. I didn't listen. I think he had a Take Heath one that I listened to on the album.
That Cautious? That's not kind of
Yeah. He had something else on there that I liked, but I ain't really listened to. I actually watched the documentary though. I did not. I did not listen to the album, but I watched the documentary. What my last question is: what is one artist or song that both of you guys like or listen to on a regular basis that you're ashamed of?
That I'm ashamed of?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I just did, the little Apple replay. I listened to 30 hours of Nav this year, bro. Yeah.
Wow. You a hype beast, Nick.
Oh, my hype beast, bro.
That's weird, bro.
No,
I ain't gonna lie.
Weird.
Come on, bro.
He look like DJ
38 hours. 38 hours.
Straight Nav?
No, just 30 hours, bro. 30 hours.
Okay.
Straight Nav.
Cut off that wow. When was this?
I mean, he dropped a couple albums I've been feeling. He dropped Good Intentions this summer. I was messing with that tough. He just dropped the album with Wheezy. I think it's called like Tsunami. That joint was hard. So yeah, I just bet on that Nav wave, bro. Real brown boy.
Listen, bro.
I'll send it in the group, bro. I got y'all, bro.
Okay. I was about to say, yeah, let me get a review. Vance, what about you?
Hey, I love Snow Allegra, bro. She got some real smooth music. Not gonna lie to you. I've been bumping her. And like
you gotta do another one. We can't all agree that she's a good artist. You gotta do another one.
In my top 10 though, I had At Your Best You Are Loved by Aaliyah.
Yes, sir.
Now why that's in my top 10, I don't know. It's just somehow was in my top 10 most played songs.
Because at your best, Vance, you are loved, my brother.
Oh my gosh, bro.
And so now getting into, the nitty gritty. This past Tuesday, new college football playoff rankings announced. Currently, the top four: Alabama at 1, Notre Dame at 2, Clemson at 3, Ohio State comes in at number 4. Got Texas A&M at 5, Florida at 6, Cincinnati at 7, number 8 Georgia, number 9 Iowa State, and number 10 Miami. So that rounds out your top 10 in the college football playoff rankings. And so starting out, I just want to talk about: are you guys Notre Dame believers now or not?
Notre Dame is a good football team. Are they one of the 4 best in the country? Yes. So short but sweet. I'm gonna say yes. I am a believer that they're one of the 4 best teams in the country.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to agree with you, Vance. They got quality wins against Clemson, who was ranked number 1 at the time, a 47-40 double overtime victory. Just put a beat down on number 19 UNC 31-17, and they just have a formula that works for them, in my opinion, that they can take anywhere and be competitive with anybody in the nation. You think about,
Thanks.
they have a very good defense, an explosive run game, and just talking about that defense, they held North Carolina to 58 yards of total offense in the second half, bro. That's
Hey,
getting the job done, bro.
hey,
Point blank,
Yeah.
period.
hey,
And
bro,
then,
my bad, Nick. That early, remember that preseason Sam Howell Heisman pick that did not pan out like we thought it would.
I mean, I was
Definitely did
y'all shit.
not.
I could have told y'all that. But
Hey, that's Kelly. Man, never mind, bro. Keep talking.
I'm just saying, continuing to talk about this Notre Dame defense, bro. They stopped the run. You look in the Clemson game, they held Travis Etienne to 28 yards rushing, bro. 2-time ACC Player of the Year. They held him to 28 yards rushing. I'm buying Notre Dame stock. They're only giving us 16.6 points per game, allowing only 85.3 rush yards per game, and they're only giving up 303 yards a game. It's a good defensive unit, like I said, with that explosive trio of running backs and a competent quarterback that can get the job done when necessary. So I'm buying in Notre Dame.
Yeah, their style is so different though, just from everybody else. It's run spread. I mean, the style now is run spread. Get everybody on the perimeter offense. Notre Dame is smash now, bro. It's just
Yeah.
like when they had all those running backs with Derrick Henry at Alabama. But they've been doing this for the past 10 years.
Exactly. And in all honesty, I was going to compare this Notre Dame team to the Tennessee Titans because very similar styles.
Yeah. But the way I see it is, I think Notre Dame is a top 4 team. Now, when they rematch with Clemson, I think Clemson gonna smash them. I can't lie to you. Trevor Lawrence is that guy. He's that dude. But I do believe they're a top 4 team. It's not that big of a gap between Clemson and Notre Dame. It's literally just Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, Josh, what do you think about Notre Dame?
It's a no for me, dog. R.I.P. Randy Jackson, man.
He did?
He's still alive, bro.
That's what I was finna say. I'm pretty sure Randy Jackson's still alive.
Man, you killed off Randy Jackson.
Nah, man, I could have. They be putting people on Twitter and compromising pictures, bro. You know how that be. But anyways, they play the style of football that I enjoy. Like Vance alluded to it, y'all probably did while I was gone. Smash mouth football. But the thing about Notre Dame is, okay, first I'll start off with Ian Book. Great college quarterback, maneuvers around the pocket excellently. Heisman candidate. So that's the thing about this Notre Dame offense. That the one piece that they have a very good running game, but just the explosive weapon, to take the top off the defense type of threat. I really don't see it there. I don't watch a lot of Notre Dame football, so you got me there. But even in that Clemson game, I saw a lot of Ian Book having to stay up, maneuver in the pocket and make things happen with his legs. Put guys in the right position. So personally, I would take Florida over Notre Dame as the 4th best team in the country.
Yeah, but I was about to say, like, you mentioned the Clemson game. Ian Book passed for over 300 yards that game, threw for 1 touchdown. Of course, their running game really carried them. Kyron Williams had 140 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game. But talking about Ian Book, I understand what you're saying as far as your concern for the passing offense, the lack of a real receiving threat. But when you have the formula that Notre Dame does and Brian Kelly trusts in, I think you can still go anywhere and win with that formula, as we've seen. You beat Clemson in double overtime. You're holding opponents to 16 points per game. I'm pretty sure that offense is more than capable of scoring more than 16 points a game because of the weapons that they have and the style that they play.
And personally, when you're talking about the college football playoff, the margin of error and the talent baseline is gonna be like this. You're gonna. It's not even necessarily who's gonna be the better player or the more talented guy's gonna be, who can put themselves in a better position on a certain given play. Are you gonna have a backup like a Tua Tagovailoa to throw a game on a touchdown or something crazy like that? When it gets to we're talking about the Final Four, that thin line is right there. And for to be considered the top 14 and to have such a glaring weakness such as take the top off the defense type of guy, I feel like that'll be quickly exposed in the playoff.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
uh,
don't feel like that's a weakness. What were you finna say, Vance?
All right, Josh. I'm not asking you for your top four. Just how many teams do you think is better than Notre Dame?
Depending on how I feel about Cincinnati, 5, which not bad.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so you were saying they on the fringe, but they not there. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you slide with that answer, but it's wrong. I give you partial credit like a teacher, bro. Partial credit.
That survived a lot of high school on that, brother. It's okay.
So now let's talk about the third and fourth ranked teams in the college football playoff. Talking about Clemson and Ohio State. So Clemson's currently sitting at 8-1. Of course, they had that double overtime loss to Notre Dame, who's ranked number 2 currently, and Ohio State sitting at 4-0 and number 4. So how do you guys feel Ohio State should be ranked? Do you feel like Ohio State should be ranked above Clemson for being undefeated, or do you feel like the ranking right now is fair?
I mean, it's just such a wide discrepancy in games. It's something we'll never really see. So, I mean, each voter is gonna have the different reasons because it's the CF college football. So it's gonna be IADs and things like that. College administration. So each voter is gonna have the different reasons to why, they put Ohio State over Clemson or Clemson Ohio State, and we can't even call their reasons invalid because it just is a wild season.
Yeah.
I personally, I feel like until somebody beats you, you're the best. So sticking to the rule book, I would have Ohio State, but I'm not gonna, be mad at the committee for putting Clemson over them. Obviously, I wouldn't say it's a stretch to say Clemson is a better team than Ohio State. I think Ohio State may be more talented this year, but I think Clemson was probably a better team. So it just comes down to what it comes down to the people on the college football board and how they want to vote. So
yeah,
I
think it's fair. I think it's fair though, because I mean, you can't play 4 games and then other teams have already played 8 games, 7 games, 8 games.
Yeah,
Clemson's
played 9 games.
That's ridiculous. Like, you played half as many games, bro. So I mean, even from eye test, I still think Clemson is better when Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback. They might even be better when DJU is at quarterback. So I think it's fair.
I feel like it's very fair because especially looking at Ohio State's last game, they didn't look too impressive to me. You consider they came out to a 35-7 lead against Indiana. Indiana came all the way back, made it a competitive game. 42-35 was the final in that game. A game where Justin Fields threw 3 interceptions. So I don't even think Ohio State has looked impressive enough to really be in that top 4. But I think the committee got it right by putting Clemson above Ohio State, like you guys said, because of games played, and then the circumstances surrounding their one loss, and then just how inefficient Ohio State looked in their last game. So I feel like the committee got it right. But now let's flip it over and talk about things the committee didn't get right. And I want to start out by talking about BYU, a team that's 9-0 and beating opponents by an average of 33 points, but they're ranked outside of the top 10 at number 13. So how do you guys feel about BYU's ranking?
Who's their best win?
Their best win was against number 21 Boise State, 51-17.
Are they still ranked?
Nah,
Boise State?
I'm about to say.
I don't think so.
I was like, I haven't been seeing the little number by them on ESPN. Nah, bro, they haven't been a ranked team all season.
Yes, they have.
That's what it is.
Boise State was ranked when they played them.
They haven't beat a team that's current. I'm about to say they haven't beat a team that's currently ranked all season.
I mean, they are blowing people out though, so it's like.
But still,
but that's what I'm saying.
I'm bad.
like with the COVID and everything going on, you know, a lot of these Power Five schools are saying no to non-conference games. So that hurts
Yeah,
teams like BYU who can't show that they're competitive against these Power Five schools. So schools like BYU, they have to play their schedule. And when you play your schedule and dominate like that, I think you deserve more
yeah.
recognition in terms of the
They
rankings.
was ducking
You're
smoke
beating
though. They was. Did you see them ducking smoke?
how?
Washington tried to play them Thanksgiving weekend, but they said no because it's Thanksgiving.
I mean,
That's
I,
ducking smoke, bro.
Smoke
it is.
ducks.
But I'm still saying, bro, you're beating opponents by 33 points on average. That's
Yeah, they nice.
domination,
I
bro.
mean, it's just unfortunate for them, you know, that we're in a year that nobody teams are going to be less, you know, not live, but less able to, you know, travel and do things like that. But it's still, you know, when it comes down to, you know, a pure football resume, they're not going to have the strength of schedule. They're not going to be able to get those ranked wins that, like in any other year, will we put a non-P5 undefeated in the top four before
We didn't
a
do it
conference
with
championship
UCF.
weekend?
We didn't do it with UCF.
No,
And UCF won the
yeah,
conference championship and they
You
didn't
said
do
we didn't do it.
it. Didn't.
nah.
So I'm saying if we didn't do it with them, why would we do it with BYU?
I mean, I feel like this is the perfect year to do it just to see because everything is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Fans and viewership not gonna matter because it's down anyways. So why
There's a
not
lot
give
of
them a
Mormons
shot?
too. It's probably some Mormons that listen to this actually. We probably need to change our tune, probably.
But I mean, I'm just saying, bro.
Go
BYU's
BYU. BYU should probably be number one actually.
I feel like BYU should be in that 7-8 category. I feel like they should be right below Cincinnati. If Cincinnati is 8-0 and ranked number 7, BYU is 9-0, beating opponents by 33 points per game, got a very good quarterback, exciting quarterback. I feel like they should be at number 8 or ranked
Agreed.
inside the top 10. I feel like they should be ranked inside the top 10.
I agree, bro. Just take. I say take. You could take Iowa State or Georgia out of that top 10 with them 2 losses, bro. That's so ugly.
Bro, exactly. I don't think Iowa State deserves to be in there at all, bro. They got a loss against University of Louisiana.
UL is ranked though, but yeah, I no. You gotta. They can't be higher than 15.
Exactly. And that's my whole thinking on that. And so with that, are there any other teams you guys think should be ranked higher in the college football playoff?
Higher. I mean, Georgia should be down. So flip Georgia and BYU. Iowa State should be
Why y'all
down.
so tough on Georgia? Like they didn't lose to the best two teams in the country.
Man, they got blown out. It
The
wasn't
best
just
that's
L's,
not the
bro.
best 2 teams in the country, bro.
Alabama, the best two SEC teams. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's usually the two best teams in the country, anyways.
if
But
Florida never lost to Texas A&M, I think the Final Four would be set already.
yeah, exactly. But I feel like Georgia's 2 losses are just bad, bro. You look at a 41-24 loss to Alabama and
They
a
didn't even
and
have
a
JT Daniels back
44-28
then, though.
loss. Okay, that is fair. I feel like JC Daniels has changed the offense, but still, bro, you can't get embarrassed like that in meaningful games.
They'll lose by
Actually,
14 instead of 30.
Nah, because he's a lot better than that boy with the
Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, he was looking like Greg off everybody is Chris. He wasn't it, bro. I'm saying, you know, if they're looking like they're supposed to look like, because is SEC doing the conference championship game? I always have to ask.
Yeah.
If they're looking like what they're supposed to look like by the time they have to play in Atlanta, they can be in the.
They're not going to
They're
be
not playing in Atlanta.
They're
Florida
not making
playing
it.
in Atlanta.
Exactly. Florida's going to be there. It's going to be Florida, Alabama in all likelihood.
Okay.
Winner to the Final Four.
All right. And so now, since we've been talking about college football, let me hear y'all's Final Four predictions.
You know, pretty easy. One, you know, as much as I hate to say it, Alabama is probably the best team in college football right now, as usual. You know, John Mechie, almost said Henry Ruggs. But Mac Jones is really the star. You know, a lot of people looked at him as the Adrian McCarron type of guy carrying, you know, with all the weapons. But he kind of actually been the center point of the offense. He threw a excellent slant or something like that in the end zone yesterday versus Auburn. So Ohio State 2, Clemson 3. My 14 will be Florida.
Ohio State at 2 though? That's interesting.
I think by the time there is going to be vote, they'll probably have looked a little better.
I mean, they only got 2 more games against Michigan and Michigan State, so.
And then they got to play. They'll probably play Wisconsin or something like that. The Big Ten.
Yeah, I think so.
So that's
no. Wisconsin is ineligible because they missed too many games.
Ooh, so they'll probably.
They play bad too.
Northwestern. They're
Oh
gonna play
yeah.
Northwestern.
Again? Then they just Northwestern just beat somebody. Or they
No, they just lost.
it does change it a little. I mean, okay, Clemson 2, Ohio State 3, and I'll go with Florida 4th. Florida. People allude to the 2 losses that Georgia have. I think that they would have a higher ceiling, honestly, because I think Georgia's defense is that much better than Florida's defense. But Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts, first SEC quarterback with 30 touchdowns in 7 games. That's we have an offensive weapon like a Kyle Pitts as well as a Kadarius Toney. Good things are gonna happen. I would say the combination of JT Daniels, how he looked with that Georgia defense, I would say might be the better team. But with 2 losses, they're probably gonna be pretty much out of the playoff picture. So, but my ace in the hole would be Texas A&M. Kellen Mond, he's like the Perry Ellis of college football. So, ADs and stuff like that love a consistent quarterback. Leon O'Neal, Buddy Johnson, both, guys that are from this area actually. They're probably, after Alabama and Georgia, they're probably the third best defense in the SEC. But that, where that let's about under 250 yards a game, solid offense. A&M's always gonna have talent and support. So things it wouldn't be weird to see them in the Final Four. I definitely think they would get smacked around, but no, they wouldn't care in College Station at all.
For me, I think my Final Four would go like this. I keep Alabama at 1, Clemson at 2, Ohio State at 3, and Notre Dame at 4, because I feel like Clemson's gonna see Notre Dame in the ACC championship, beat them. I don't know about how soundly, but I feel like Clemson will get the win in the ACC championship rematch, and that'll bump Notre Dame down to 4. But I feel like a sneaky team that can get into this college football playoff is Florida. I look at how they'll match up with Alabama come SEC championship time, and I feel like they have a chance to maybe beat Alabama and find a way to sneak into the college football playoff. I feel like it's possible. So that's my
He
sleeper
doesn't really
team.
fit the mobile QB mode.
So answer your top 4.
Ooh, so number 1, I'm gonna have to go to University of Alabama. Roll Tide, bro. I was gonna say Florida is gonna beat them in the SEC championship game because the only way to beat Alabama is literally you got to outscore them in a high scoring game. I don't see that happening. I think Florida could, but Florida's gonna give up them points too. I think Alabama might touch 60 on them. But Najee Harris might get 250 plus yards. So I'm gonna keep Alabama at number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Clemson. I think they're gonna be in a rematch against Notre Dame in the ACC championship game, and I think they're gonna win convincingly, probably by 2+ scores. I think Trevor Lawrence will make that much of a difference. Number 3, I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. The L against Clemson would be their only L in my eyes, so you got to keep them in there because they avoided the letdown game against North Carolina, won by 2 scores, which impressed me the most. I thought it'd go to overtime or maybe a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
Number 4. So Florida, I'm gonna have Florida taking the L. So then it's like, do you take Texas A&M or Ohio State? Ohio State, I feel like they're gonna miss another game due to COVID because when people up north are nasty, bro. So if they miss one more game, they're gonna be ineligible for the conference championship game, just like Wisconsin. So I think they're gonna miss it, and so I don't think you can give them put them in the playoff with just 6 wins, have half a season. And everybody else has played 11 games. You can't do that. So then it goes A&M. From the eye test, I think Cincinnati's better than them. So I'm gonna give Cincinnati the 4th spot, the best team with the best wins. They got better wins though. I think they're better than Ohio State just on the eye test. So Cincinnati, they already got good wins against Memphis, a good Memphis team, a good SMU team. Now they're gonna have
convincing
to play
wins against both of these teams.
Yeah, no wins by single digits, bro. All of their wins are by double digits, blowing them out. And now they got to play a ranked Tulsa team 2 times in a row, 2 times in 3 weeks, and I think they're gonna get it done by double digits. So you got to give it to them if that's what happens.
Yeah.
But if Ohio State plays their full schedule, they're gonna get in the Final Four because they're not gonna lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it all depends on how Ohio State shakes back from this COVID deal And if they get to play these last 2 games versus Michigan, Michigan State, and then parlay that into a Big Ten championship. Now we're going to flip it over to the NFL and talk about a player and a team that's kind of been struggling. Talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here and their quarterback Tom Brady. So far in their last 4 games, they're 1-3 with their only win coming against the Panthers and losses against the Saints, Rams, and Chiefs. And in the Chiefs game Sunday night, you could see, well, I feel like I could see a lot of issues with that Tampa Bay offense. So right now, for Tom Brady, 3 losses in 4 games is this happened for the first time since weeks 10 through 13 of 2009 for Brady. And to add on to the struggles, head coach Bruce Arians has been highly critical of his prior quarterback. After the Chiefs lost on Sunday, there were reports of real tension between Arians and Brady because Arians felt like he went and got all of these pieces for Brady, talking about Gronk and AB, and he's unhappy with Brady's performance after he did all of this to make Tom Brady happy. Arians also said that I think that Brady's getting confused a few times with coverage, and that might be causing some of his inaccurate balls. So with that, I got to ask you guys, do you guys think Brady has started to fall off?
I mean, of course, he started to fall off when he's 40 years old. He might be 41.
He's 43.
He's 43.
Yeah.
That's old. That's really old.
Of course, he fell off, bro. I mean, sometimes life happens, and you with a new team. So, like, I mean, how much time did he really get with all of those receivers that he has on the roster? He played with Gronk, but I mean, Gronk is a different player than what he was in New England. So that year off, you didn't really get.
I was about to say he had a 100-yard game Sunday. I think he's kind of shaking.
Man.
I think he's almost back to 100%. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, bro. I mean, they're always going to progress because you get deeper and deeper into the season. But who do you have an offseason with? Mike Edwards and Godwin? Really, those are the only 2. I mean, he played with AB before. Never played with Brady. I mean, he really only had 2 targets that he's throwing to consistently on Sundays. I mean, has he thought his arm is horrible, bro? It's like, he throws like Phillip Rivers now, honestly. I mean, he always played like Phillip Rivers. He was just more talented and smarter. Now his intelligence is still the same, but it seems like he's focused. They just play really good teams these last 4 games. But to answer your question, yes, they fell off. But the last 4 games, 3 out of the last 4 they've lost.
Yeah.
You can't put too much stock into that because 3 out of the 4 teams they played are playoff teams, bro. They're gonna be in the playoffs, hooping, probably win a playoff game. And they beat the Panthers, who's not gonna make the playoffs, and they destroyed them. So they're gonna be okay.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I think Brady's interceptions are becoming a problem. You look, he's had 7 interceptions over a 4-game span for the first time since 2011. So I think, one, his interception numbers are very concerning, especially in an offense where he's relied upon to throw the ball. You're looking at he's averaging 39.5 pass attempts per game, and you just can't turn the ball over, especially with a defense on the other side that obviously has its weaknesses. You see that gave up 38 points to the Saints, gave up 27 to the Rams, gave up 27 to the Chiefs. And the Chiefs really started out hot and let off the gas on the Buccaneers. So I think for Brady, one, his turnovers are a major problem. And a lot of these turnovers, there have been instances this season where his turnovers are just very bad reads. It's not the fact that he can't get the ball there or anything else. It's a bad read. He's not reading his keys. I don't know what it is. So I kind of buy stock in what Arians is saying in terms of he's kind of confused, on coverages and things like that. And that just can't happen being a veteran quarterback at age 43. And I also think he's kind of fallen off in terms of arm talent because you look at it since week 5, Brady is dead last among 31 quarterbacks in passer rating on deep throws, which are 20-plus air yards. And he's had a 27.7 rating on those deep throws. And that's dead last in the NFL. So I think Brady has had a significant fall off, but I also feel like it isn't all on Brady, though. I feel like it's a stylistic mismatch, too. You think about coming from New England where you can dink and dunk, take underneath to intermediate routes a lot to open up the deep routes, and then coming to Tampa Bay where Bruce Arians wants to throw the ball a lot, attack the vertical seams, get downfield. I feel like it's just a stylistic change for Brady that he hasn't adjusted to yet, especially in terms of pass attempts, which, like I said, 39.5 pass attempts per game, which is the second highest in his career, with 2012 being the highest, and that's when he averaged 39.8 pass attempts.
come playoff time, but they're still gonna get to the Super Bowl. I need y'all to understand this, bro. It really did. Oh, playoff time is gonna come around. He's gonna tell Bruce Arians to shut up and let him run his offense, and that's what Bruce Arians is gonna do, bro. I mean, honestly, Bruce Arians needs to just shut up and let Brady run things, bro. He knows how he likes it. He has 6 Super Bowl rings, bro. But has he fell off? Yes, but he knows his strengths and he knows his weaknesses. I told you, like we was talking about in the last podcast, Penny Hardaway, you just gotta adjust to your personnel, and that's what Arians needs to do. Just like Nick said, they want to air it out, let Brady, do his dink and dunk, and take the shots when it's wide open. That's what Brady is known for. That's what Brady does. But they're gonna be in the Super Bowl. Watch.
So, what do you think, Josh? What do you think about Brady?
I'm gonna say it like this. You gave some of the Amazon Next Gen stats, Nick. And I definitely the one thing about your criticism I do think is very concerning is the interceptions, because that's the reason that they got Jameis Winston out of there. So he's not close to 30 at all, but still, that was the primary reason that people claimed about Jameis. So to see that, even somebody legendary as Tom Brady, but personally, I think that not that it matters really to Bruce Arians, but Tom Brady interceptions are more explainable. Like y'all said, first year out of the whole system of New England, but a whole lot of on an abbreviated offseason, and well as like Nick said, or both of y'all said, he probably didn't realize before the season how much his actual arm talent, or how difficult it was to be able to to throw the ball like 38, 39 times a game at his age. I don't care what anybody says. Father Time's undefeated, and Tom Brady is not going to be the same guy that he was, in 2010, 2011. But just ride with me real quick. This season got 64.8 completion percentage, 3,300 yards on the dot, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and then 69.7 QBR. So above average, middling, Pro Bowler. Okay. So in 2017. Yeah, Brady had a 66.3 completion percentage, over 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And that was an MVP year.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand, the concern with the interceptions, but I think it's a combination of factors that led to it. And like y'all said, he is still Tom Brady. I think he's smart enough to be able to readjust and just to continue to play and learn more about, his guys. Because like Van said, this is the regular season right now. As much as that's more of a basketball thing than it will be a football mentality, it's because it's so much more physical and week to week. But let's see where we're at on Wild Card weekend. I think our tunes will be a little different.
Yeah, one thing that kind of stood out to me, I don't know if y'all saw, but Desmond Howard kind of broke down the Tampa Bay situation perfectly.
Howard.
Yeah. Basically, he said, you can't have somebody – request like all the ingredients to make a sweet potato pie, and then they get there and you ask them to make a pumpkin pie. It's just not gonna work out. So you think about it, bro. Nah, listen, bro. Brady wants to make a sweet potato pie, bro. This is the most perfect analogy I've ever heard in my life, bro. Brady wants to make a sweet potato pie, bro. He wants to dink and dunk, run the ball effectively, take shots when necessary. So you go out and you get guys like Gronk, AB, and then, to complement the guys already there, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And so, but when he gets there and when he gets there and he tries to make a sweet potato pie, but instead you got the ingredients for a pumpkin pie, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to end up well because Bruce Arians is trying to make Brady make a sweet potato pie with pumpkin pie ingredients, giving him a playbook in which he has to take the top off, throw the ball 39 times a game. It's just not right. You get what I'm saying? And so,
Agreed, bro.
I don't know if I explained that analogy correctly.
No, you did, bro. Because you want to know who would be a potato pie?
Right, cook wrong ingredients, bro.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
With that team, with that team, Aaron Rodgers with the Buccaneers.
That would be
You want me to be honest with you?
Yeah.
I know we ran a poll on Twitter about which starting quarterback would lead the Buccaneers to a better record, and I think Jameis would be a very solid quarterback with the weapons around him right now. You think about it, bro. His years in Tampa Bay, his offensive line was nowhere as good, and the defense was garbage. Now you got a very good defense, a solid offensive line to help keep him upright, and he got that LASIK eye surgery. I think Jameis could have been very dangerous in Tampa Bay this season had they decided to retain it.
Hey,
I just
shout out to the Tennessee Titans though, bro. Because
bro,
they did.
what?
I remember this time last year, Titans fans were saying they wanted Brady at quarterback instead of Tannehill. If he gave Tannehill that contract there, people were kind of like, but hey, we looking good right now. I don't know if Brady would have been doing the same stuff. Well, he could throw a slant to AJ Brown, so I don't know. And hand it off to Drake Lee. But anyways, shout out to the Tennessee Titans. I had to sneak them in there, of
For
course.
sure. And so to close, talking about Brady out, what do the Bucs need to do to get back on track and, make it to wild card weekend and hopefully win a playoff game or make it to the Super Bowl like Van said?
Just continue to play more football. We all know that nothing, prepares you for football or, sinks in your cohesion of playing football together and then playing football. So I know it's been, 12 games, but in a year like this, the only thing that, the best thing for that unit, offensive unit to do is just play together and be together as much as possible so they can really truly figure each other out. I think in the end, ultimately, the odd man out probably will be Mike Evans simply because, his style of play or the type of routes that he runs, is kind of contradictory to, somebody like a Tom Brady. Although I think if deployed effectively, it could be, a game-bringing element to their offense. But, like you said, TB knows it once. He has 6 Super Bowl rings to tell you that it works. So I think he'll probably end up being a victim of that. But, yeah, I think that by wild card weekend, this will be – I can't. New Orleans is 9-2 right now, so they'll either be, top wild card division leader. But
They're
I
not
don't
gonna
think
win the division, bro. Just like
with the 83
8-4.
or
Yeah.
5. They might have
84,
5 losses. They have 5 losses.
84. New
They
Orleans
7-5,
9-2.
7-5.
Oh, 75. Oh yeah.
Yup.
Well, yeah, they'll be the best wild card, second best wild card.
Yeah, that's a big difference though, bro. You go
Exactly.
from playing Washington
Home
football
games.
team or the Cowboys to playing the Seahawks or the Packers, bro. That's a
Exactly.
big difference.
Yeah, it is.
And well, I guess home field isn't as much of an advantage this year with no fans and things like that, but still having to travel, unfamiliar surroundings, that always plays a factor, believe it or not.
But hey,
Facts.
he gonna Tom Brady in the playoffs, bro.
He gonna get it done.
I'm saying.
Uh, we saw what happened against
Big.
the Titans. Big thing for the Buccaneers, though, they got to run the ball, bro. They have to put the ball in Ronald
No,
Jones,
Fournette
in the
been
Fournette's hand.
trash.
But I mean, when you're
He been
tenth least in the
trash.
when you're tenth least in the league in rushing attempts, you're not
Yeah.
giving guys a lot of opportunities to run the ball and catch a rhythm. Because believe it or not,
Facts.
just like shooting, running the ball is a rhythm thing. Because you see, you run the play and you see it so many different times, so many different looks, you
Yeah.
kind of get a rhythm in running the ball. So I feel like they need to run the ball more and just get a rhythm. And that helps Brady because now he doesn't have to pass the ball as much. Now he can be more efficient when he passes the ball. That opens up more play action opportunities, more opportunities to take the top off the defense because now you got safeties coming down to play the run, especially when you have 2 dynamic backs in Fournette and Ronald Jones. So I think in order to get the Bucs back on track, I just think they need to run the ball more. I think it's
I
Bro,
mean, you
they got
could.
3 good backs. The third back is Shady McCoy.
oh
I was
yeah,
watching the game the other day. He was just over there sipping Gatorade. I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing? I know y'all have too many weapons, but y'all got to figure out a way. Y'all got to find the best mix, bro. Them 3 backs might be the trio to do it.
exactly. But it's like similar situation in New England. They didn't have the star power of those backs, but they relied on those backs heavily to take the pressure off of Tom Brady. So yeah, week 13 of the NFL season, 4 more weeks left to go. So what we decided to do for you guys is rank the top 5 teams in the NFL right now. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go round robin style, starting from the 5th best team going up to the best team in the NFL. And I'm gonna start it out. And for me, the 5th best team in the NFL right now is the New Orleans Saints. They got a record of 9-2, and it might not seem like it, but they're on an 8-game winning streak. And so over these 8 games, they've got victories over Carolina, Tampa Bay, who they claimed the season series with, and San Francisco. And with Breeze sideline, the offense is still putting up points, man. Taysom Hill's getting the job done, even though he's not passing the ball. He's getting the job done. Got an MVP candidate in Kamara, 585 rushing yards, 646 receiving yards, and 16 total touchdowns on the season. But what really stands out about this New Orleans team is that defense, bro. Since in a 2-game span, since Breeze went out in the past 2 weeks, the team has only allowed 12 points. And then you take that back since week 8 versus the Bucs, the team has only allowed 28 total points. And so this Saints defense are allowing around 20 points per game, which is good for fifth best in the NFL. They're the best defense in terms of yards allowed per game, and they're creating a lot of pressure off the edge with guys like Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and Hendrickson to the tune of 33 sacks on the year. And they've been without Mike Thomas for the majority of these. He's only played in 5 games. And I think when Breeze comes back, this is going to be a team that's going to be tough to beat in the playoffs, a team that's going to challenge no matter who they line up against. The only concern I have with this team is Breeze going to be able to – is Breeze and this offense going to be able to stretch the field and prevent teams from shrinking the field on them?
I feel you. You know, my fifth best team, although there's an argument that they're not playing like it, and I won't be the one to argue back. The Baltimore Ravens. You know, they play on a Wednesday, which is crazy, but they play in less than 3 hours. You know, they'll be short Ingram, Dobbins, and Lamar Jackson, obviously. So they'll probably lose because they play Pittsburgh. So they'll probably fall to 6-5. But man, you know, the other teams I had here, I consider Tampa Bay, but we obviously just discussed why they could be a little iffy. Green Bay, but I still don't think I don't know if Baltimore has a good as pass rusher as Zadarius Smith, but I think their defense is collectively a lot better than Green Bay's. Tennessee,
I just don't know, bro. Because it's not even the defense I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about that offense, bro. You look at the Chiefs and Patriots games, bro. Only 97 passing yards against the Chiefs. Lamar looked very bad that game. And you follow that up with a performance against the Patriots. It was an ugly game. I get it. They couldn't run the ball on the Patriots. Lamar had about 200 passing yards, but it was an ineffective 200 passing yards. So I just don't think this is a team that is one of the best 5 in the NFL right now. I understand you got a lot of faith in Lamar, but I think that faith is ill-placed.
I definitely know. I think the team is not really constructed. I think Tom Brady actually loved this roster. Duvernay, Willie Snead, Hollywood Brown. This is more of a roster.
I mean, you can
Yes,
have all
Brian.
you can
Put some respect on his name,
bro. It's like you can have all of these.
Now.
You can have
not right now.
all of this talent on the outside, but if the quarterback can't get the ball to them on a consistent basis, what does it amount to?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. I think, look, you know, for somebody, a young quarterback like Lamar, you're going to need somebody like a Mike Evans, somebody like a DK Metcalf, somebody that, you know, or Stephon Diggs, somebody that, you know, down out there, you're going to be able to get open and they're going to be able to catch the ball. You know, they drafted
Hollywood. It still depends on the quarterback getting the ball there. That's the point I'm trying to get.
But if there's nobody
making
open,
the right reads and getting the ball there.
But if there's nobody open, what is the right read? If you don't have somebody that can consistently be man, what is the right read?
They have those kinds of guys. Hollywood Brown has showed last season that he could be a legit number 1 receiver. Dez Bryant has that.
And he's struggling with drops this year. And it come
Dez
on
Bryant,
now, bro. You're not gonna tell me that.
Bro,
you're not gonna
throwing outside of the hashes, Lamar is one of the worst quarterbacks in terms of completion percentage. Throwing outside of the hashes, throwing to the outside. And that's a fact. You can't debate that. That's why
you can't debate
that's why his
tight
ends always
Mark Andrews.
That's why his tight ends always lead the team in receiving yards.
Who is he supposed to throw to outside the hatches? He has nobody over 6 foot outside the hatches to catch the ball.
It doesn't matter.
Duvernay. What do you mean it doesn't matter?
Dez Bryant now, bro.
You can create separation without being 6 feet tall.
Okay, but is the window not tighter when you have a smaller guy specifically outside the hashes versus a bigger, like a Mark Andrews or a bigger body? The window is just going to be smaller.
The majority of Lamar's completions come in the middle of the field.
Because
right or wrong?
Yes, because the guy that you would want to have over his big body receiver is his tight end.
Then by the time he scramble outside, bro, he just gonna run it for 10 yards rather than throw it for 10 yards.
If you put Mike Evans in Baltimore, he would go crazy. It wouldn't even somebody that could somebody that's a legitimate X receiver. Hollywood Brown, even so? In the slot. Yeah, that's exactly what he needs, bro.
This isn't a team that's constructed to pass the ball. This is a run the ball team.
So what did I say, Nick? You add a piece. to the construction, brother. Well, I know
Yeah,
it's not
That
constructed.
doesn't change the scheme.
that's a good point.
I guarantee you, if they get Mike
Like
Evans,
what are you talking about? If
even if,
you change a team by you saying they need different pieces. I know it's not constructed to throw the ball. Greg Roman, first of all, Lamar talking about people calling out the plays. That's never good to hear from other teams. But yes, they're not constructed because they don't have the weapons necessary. Who's the second best receiver outside? Well,
Des
I'm not gonna
Bryant,
even count Dez Bryant. Not right
he
now.
do
Willie
Not
count.
right
He
now.
do
Snead,
count. After today, you gonna count him. Watch.
Okay,
And
after
I'm gonna
today, they had
start
to
him in
play today.
fantasy.
It's Hollywood Brown and Willie Snead the seventh. Who is there to throw to out there?
really
J.K. Dobbins might be the best receiver out besides Hollywood Brown.
Mark Andrews is the best receiver on that team. If we keep it in the
Yeah,
stack,
I mean,
Is he a receiver?
I mean, is
No.
J.K. Dobbins a receiver?
Listen,
But
Josh,
You're
bro.
proving my
my
point for
no
me. What
my
are you
my
talking
Listen,
about?
my point is
Josh.
this: even if they get a Mike Evans, a Stephon Diggs, any of these elite guys, guess what they still gonna do? Run the ball 20 times a game. I'm just letting you know.
But then again, listen, Josh. You made a good point. Once again, you get partial credit, but the Ravens are not the fifth best team in the NFL right now. You can't say that.
I think that it's a combination of talent and then what I think because it's not irregardless, but a lot of teams have front-loaded schedules. I think the Baltimore did personally, and like we discussed before, I don't see them losing after this game. I think they'll run off 5 straight in a row, and they'll beat the Browns, and I think they'll walk into the playoffs at 11-5.
It's possible, bro.
That's just one of those things we're gonna have to wait and see. But Vance, who's your fifth best team in the NFL?
Well, for me at number 5, you already know I got the Tennessee Football Titans, bro. One of the best, most potent offenses
Football type.
in the NFL. They got Derrick Henry, Mr. 100 yards a game. He's going to automate the most dominant running back in the game. I don't think you can dispute it right now because he's been doing it consistently for 3 years. About to get him 2 years in a row in the playoffs. And then if it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and not 3rd and short, we're gonna throw the slant to AJ Brown and he's gonna crib it. So I mean, and then we also got Corey Davis is coming along.
He
so running his option route. So we
They
run
both
AJ on the
prime
slant
for
or the
the game. That's
post.
what happened.
Hey, bro. Yeah, bro. So I like the way the Titans are looking. The defense is starting to come along. The pass rush is still a question, but when your offense is on the field for so long and you don't gotta play defense, then you take it. So Tennessee Titans at number 5.
So now moving on to our fourth best team in the NFL, I'm gonna rock with the Seahawks. 8-3. I feel like 2 additions have really changed that defense and improved that defense major. You look at Jamal Adams, he had a major impact on this game Monday night. 9 tackles, 1 sack, 2 QB hits against the Eagles. A guy who's versatile, does everything, rush the quarterback, cover the pass. He even had very good coverage on the corner route by Goddard, I want to say in the second or third quarter. And it just shows you how versatile and how important he is to that Seahawks defense. And then they trade for Carlos Dunlap, a move that I think paid major dividends, created a lot more pass rush for the team. And at the end of the day, when you're talking about the Seahawks, the defense is coming along to go with the offense that is already dangerous. You look at Russell Wilson, let Russ cook. I think he was an MVP candidate at the beginning of the season. He might be back on track to be in that conversation. But a guy that has 31 touchdowns, over 3,000 passing yards, dynamic offense, getting Chris Carson back is a major plus for this team. A tough runner in between the tackles, outside the tackles, and as a pass-catching dimension. And then, of course, DK Metcalf, leader in the NFL in receiving yards. I think this is a very well-constructed team and a team that can get into the playoffs and make some noise yet again.
Me and Nick gonna really be eye to eye. The defense, they still had Bobby Wagner. They still had, they were just too talented to be, struggling as bad as they did. That the one thing that, like Dick said, the perfect thing that they got was Carlos Dunlap. The Bengals are like, we're not using them, so y'all can have them real quick. So, and in the league of a pass-heavy league, those are 2 things that are most important: pass rushers and secondary. Honestly, if Arizona still had Chandler Jones, they probably would have been in Baltimore's spot. But yeah, like you said, Russ and DK are the best combo in the league right now. With Kyler and D Hop a close second. They're just they're rounding into form. They're truly rounding into form, and They'll be in the NFC West, the top seed right now. They get like crowns for that. This year. So
Yeah. So what about you, Vance? Who's your fourth
Okay.
best?
So at number 4 coming in, I got their rival, a team that's actually coming off a loss, but I still think it's the best in the NFC West, and that's the Los Angeles Rams, bro. I like what I see, the best defense in the NFL, the most dominant defensive player in the NFL, and Aaron Donald, probably the best secondary in the NFL. It's just the defense is so great, and I think that's going to carry them anywhere they go. And so, I also think the offense is good enough. They got a trio of backs, Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, and Cam Akers. They got the 2 receivers on the outside. You got Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and they also got a nice tight end who's probably top 15 in Tyler Higbee. So they have a good enough offense and the best defense. They're my number 4.
And so my third best team in the NFL this year, well, up to this point, Green Bay Packers, man. 8-3 record. They beat the Saints week 3, 37-30. That Rodgers Adams connection is I think, in my opinion, that's the best connection in the league. They got the number 1 scoring offense in the league, 44 touchdowns on the year, 31.7 points per game. And they got also fielding the top 10 rushing attack, headed by Aaron Jones, getting it done on the ground and through the air. And in my opinion, this is a team that should be 9-2. They had the tough loss against the Colts on a Marquez Valdez-Scantling fumble in overtime. But this is a very good team, very talented on both sides of the ball. You look at the Smith brothers on the defensive side of the ball, able to create pressure. Very good secondary with Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos holding up the back end, and Jair and Kevin King on the corner. So I think this team is very well constructed, a team that can really outscore anybody if they need to, but also has the defense to shut opponents down if necessary.
3, I'm gonna go with the 504 cash money records for the 99-2000 Saints boys. Alvin Kamara, he's having an all-pro season. He's honestly, really been keeping his offense afloat with the injury to Drew Brees and Taysom Hill's proven ineffectiveness over a black James Winston. But it's another story for another day. But yeah, honestly, like you alluded to when you said it before, defense been going crazy. They got their own little version of J.J. Watt and Trey Henderson. He's actually tied for the league lead in 9.5. Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, Malcolm Brown, DeMario Davis, Janoris Jenkins, Malcolm Jenkins, and Marcus Lattimore.
I agree with you, Josh. And at number 3, I got the New Orleans Saints, man. So they're winning 8-game win streak, but they haven't played. Like I said, they haven't played anybody. They played somebody decent. Who's their best win in the 8 games?
The Bucks.
49.
Well,
I mean, yeah. That might just be a matchup, bro. So,
But they did blow them out, though, by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but stuff happens. The Titans got blew out by the Colts, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
they just blew them back out.
So,
yeah, so, I mean, stuff happens, bro. You have a bad quarter, a bad game, a bad half, whatever, bro. Move on. So, but the Saints, they're my number 3 just because they're winning. Like, you can't dispute that. But playoff time, they going to choke. I just know it. They going to choke, bro.
wow.
They get to duck the Vikings finally, bro. So they don't got to play the Vikings in the playoffs. But whoever they see, I just don't see them winning that game. The Seahawks or the Packers, I just think Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers is going to outduel Drew Brees when he comes back. That's just how I see it.
I agree with that
That's
analysis,
tough.
especially if Drew Brees and that offense can't stretch the field vertically. A problem that we've consistently seen with that Saints offense. But moving on, my number 2 best team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. People are going to say, why are the Steelers your second best team and they're undefeated? Well, they come in at number 2 because they only have 3 wins against teams with a winning record, and that's the Browns, the Ravens, and the Titans. That's the only 3 wins against teams with a winning record, and those were all relatively close games. So I think this is still a good team, don't get me wrong. I think they have the best defense in the NFL, 38 sacks on the year, allowing a 54% pass completion percentage. They're the second best defense in terms of yards allowed per game. And it's just a very good defensive unit, only allowing 17 points a game. And they're also number 1 in the NFL in takeaways. But my concern with the Steelers comes on the offensive side of the ball. You've got a very nice trio of receivers, in my opinion, in terms of Claypool, Deontay Johnson, and Juju. But it's like there's no spark to that offense. It's a very opportunistic offense. The defense gets the ball for them in good position, and they convert. I don't think the Steelers are a team that can go on a lot of long drives get a lot of first downs and get touchdowns, because you look at it, they're bottom 10 in both pass yards and rush yards per game. But the offense is the ninth best scoring offense with 36 touchdowns. So like I said, very opportunistic offense. They turn those takeaways into points, and they get the job done that way. If the defense doesn't create takeaways, I don't know how good that offense really is.
It's typical for somebody offensive person to let the offense go first. So I'll just flip it. Kansas City, I got them at 2. They're 98% of dominance last year, but they got a healthy Juan Thornhill and Daniel Source, and he's really emerged, stepped up, leading team in tackles and making a lot of big plays. And then you still got the Honey Badger. I think I'm like I was about to say. I think the mergers of those two guys, with Juan Thornhill's help. But I think that, Tyrann Mathieu definitely had an impact on that back half. You still got Chris Jones. You still got Frank Clark. So, yeah, they're just running it back. But, I think that Vegas beating them is concerning. Did they beat them twice, if I can't recall?
No, Vegas only beat them once. They beat them in Kansas City.
But that was in Arrowhead. That's, kind of
yeah, but then the Chiefs went on the road and took care of them. So,
yeah, bro.
But I mean, still, game planning. All 32 teams had that film and saw how John Gruden was able to beat Kansas City. So, the NFL is a copycat league. I haven't been able to really get down and watch that game. Because is that their only loss?
Yeah, it's their only loss. They 10-1.
So I'm saying that, but enough coaches will be able to copy and see what Vegas was able to do in that game, or if they had the personnel to match it up.
I'm gonna put it like this: it's the NFL. You can lose a game at any time. Not that big of a knock, in my opinion. It's the NFL.
I mean, no, definitely not. But you lose a game, so guess what other team's gonna do? What did this team do? So I can do the same thing that they did.
Yeah, the Raiders beat them. The Chiefs came back and beat them. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially if that team can't replicate.
I don't think that I don't think that I wouldn't say that anybody would beat I don't think anybody that would beat the Chiefs besides the Steelers are going to be better than them within the same conference, so they're not going to play in the Super Bowl. But it don't, like we always, as you literally just said, they don't have to be the better team. They just have to be the better team for 60 minutes. So if a team can go in and they can break down that Raiders Kansas City film and say, this is what we need to do and match up the personnel to the Raiders as close as possible, it can be done. And it's on tape now, so they had some odd weeks to study.
Yeah. At my number 2, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers, mainly for the same reasons as Nick. I mean, like, I want to be able to depend on a defense, but then again, who's had a average offense and won the Super Bowl? Who's the last team to do that? Maybe the Ravens?
You can say maybe the Patriots, 2018.
Yeah. Then after that, I mean, it's really gapped out. So I don't think I can trust the Steelers. All of their wins have been really close. They're surviving, bro. They're surviving and advancing on a weak schedule. The teams that they have beaten is just like they beat the Titans on a missed field goal. Stuff happens. They they barely beat the Cowboys with Garrett Gilbert.
And they beat the Ravens on a game that came down to the last possession.
Yeah, the last play. It came down to the last play.
You're right.
So it's just like night in and night out. I'm gonna give them the number 2 spot because they keep winning, bro. If you win, you the best. You can't nobody say they're better than you. You can't beat them. But the team I do think is better than them is, of course, what we all three of us gonna flip flop the Chiefs and the Steelers.
Yeah, and so going off of you, Chiefs are number 1 in my opinion. Josh said that loss against the Raiders is concerning. To me, it's not concerning at all. That's just a game where, you just got beat point blank period. The Chiefs had the ball at the end of the game, couldn't get the ball into the end zone. And I mean, that happens. But looking at their performance Sunday against the Buccaneers, I feel like the Chiefs showed everybody they're the best team in the NFL. They can outscore any team in the NFL, and they have the defense to, get the job done. You look at defensive performances against the Ravens. They held Lamar Jackson to 97 passing yards, and they really stuffed that Baltimore rushing attack. Only gave up 158 rushing yards for a total of 255 total yards against the Ravens, one of the most explosive offenses we've seen, in recent NFL history. And so you also look at that. You look at that game. You look at that performance against the Buccaneers. They forced Brady to throw 2 picks in that game. It's just I think this is a really good defense, much improved from last year, and that's why I think they're the number one team in the NFL. You can outscore anybody. The defense can make sure you outscore anybody, and you got the best, in my opinion, the best player in the game right now in Pat Mahomes.
No, I'm not gonna disagree. The Chiefs, they're reigning champs, and they're there for a reason. They're just running it back. But just for me and mine, I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh right here. You made the remark that they're not really a spark to their offense, but Claypool had 10 touchdowns in 10 games. I don't know what bigger spark that you want than that.
Yeah, but I'm saying he still has – there's no receiver on that team that has over 600 yards.
I mean, okay, I understand. So you want to trade yards for touchdowns?
I'm saying, like, sure, you can get touchdowns, but you're not moving the ball down the field enough.
Game on the line, you think they're going to make a drive on the Chiefs? An 80-yard drive on the Chiefs, game on the line?
I think –
no way.
What?
The only way I think that happens is if Frank Clark gets 2 roughing the passer penalties, like what happened against Tampa Bay. That's the only way I think that.
You think the Steelers can't go You can't go 80 yards one time versus the Chiefs? Y'all really think that?
They defense be flipping the field. They don't got to go 80 yards, but when they do, they just punt it and keep playing field position.
Exactly.
And that's how they be winning these games by.
You said one drive. That means Tomlin's gonna pull out all the stuff in the duffel. It's come on now. They got too many. Claypool is a highway speed mismatch. Deontay Johnson is one of the shiftiest guys that I've ever seen personally because him and Judy, they make people miss. So James Conner's still a bell cow back.
They got 650 rushing yards on the season.
You said what?
Yeah, 650 rushing yards on the season. Bell cow.
Toting that twice as much.
Hey, bro. Like, what do you expect? Everybody. Okay. Whatever.
I mean, bro, if you really think they're the best in the NFL, bro, have at it.
I do, but he said 650 yards. Like, that's not going to be top 10 right now. Like, how many yards do you want your running back to have if he's not Derrick Henry?
But bro, there are numerous backs over 1,000 yards or near 1,000 yards at this point in the season. You can't.
I didn't say he's having an all-pro season. I'm just saying it really doesn't matter honestly because if you get a good offensive line, you can put Nick Hayes back there and you can have a good, decent run game. But he's shown the ability, especially against the Titans, to make people miss. He has decent vision.
But he's not good enough to carry that offense. That offense is not good enough to.
He's been better than Le'Veon Bell. Does he?
He's nowhere near.
How many yards Hilaire had this year?
But he's nowhere near.
I think he got more yards than
Hilaire had 1,000. He had 1,000.
But
he
had like 150 his first game. Though. That's the thing.
Okay, that's the point.
That's almost a third of what James Conner has, bro. Right
on the
now.
Season.
Yeah. So,
whatever.
Bro, the Chiefs are unstoppable, bro.
Exactly.
You got the two out of three best receivers.
They were unstoppable. They were unstoppable till the Patriots stopped them. D4 really stopped them, but
you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
2 years ago.
I'm just saying, like you had like.
Why you bring it up 2 years ago like this?
They won last year, brother. Like I don't have that much to go off of.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're the best team in the NFL right now. You look at it. They have 2 of the leading receivers in the NFL, and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. They just got Sammy Watkins back, and you saw how much that changed the offense by allowing Tyreek Hill to get more one-on-ones.
What kind of fun would it be? We always agreed that would be a horrible show.
Yeah, but some things you just got to agree on because.
But I don't. I think the Steelers are better. I think that where I see it is okay. Kansas City has out of the world the best offense, but I think the Steelers have enough offense and enough weapons to compete. But I think the gap between Kansas City's offense and the Steelers' offense is where it's going to. Defense travels in the playoffs.
Their defense can't keep up with Kansas City. Exactly. I don't care how good your defense is. I'm sorry.
Josh, let me ask you a question, bro. Chiefs, Steelers, who are you taking?
Steelers. It depends on what if they like with the Super Bowl or they play if it's neutral site.
They can't play in the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I did say
Chiefs, Steelers. Who's winning the game?
The Steelers could lose 2 of the 2 games at the end of the season, bro, and not be.
I'm going to take the Steelers. I bet T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree both have a sack. I think that the Raiders can pick up Mahomes 3 times. The Steelers can easily do it. I'll take the Steelers. Like it's not.
They're not going to be the 1 seed. They're not going to be the 1 seed.
Why would they not? They 10-0. What are you talking about?
I mean, the Chiefs are 9-1, so all it takes is
Chiefs are
one L.
10-1.
10-1, yeah. So all it takes is one L, and the Chiefs are in first place.
And
But I don't. Well, yeah. But then we never. Kansas City could drop a trap game. You never know.
yeah. So I'm looking at the Steelers' remaining schedule right now. They got games versus the Washington football team, the
W.
Bills, the Bengals, the
Mm,
Colts, and the Browns. I think 3 out of those last 5
2
are
in a
toss-up
possible.
games. Especially, I'm talking Bills, Colts, and Browns. I think those 3 games are toss-up games for the Steelers.
they'll beat the Browns.
I'm
I think
saying
Bills
they're
and
gonna beat the
Colts.
Browns.
Bills and Colts are the 2 L's.
So worst case scenario, 14-2. So who does Kansas City have left?
The City
That's
has
gonna
the
happen.
Broncos, the
When
Dolphins, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Chargers left.
Yeah, they're gonna win out, bro.
They might lose to the Saints, so they'll probably be tied actually.
They not
Yeah,
losing
Drew
to the Saints, bro.
Brees will probably be back for that game, but I'm not gonna lie. Pat
He
Mahomes'
gonna mess it up.
offense is going
They're really, really, really generationally good, but they're gonna lose it. I mean, they're not unstoppable, so they're not immune to the football gods. They obviously lost the game earlier. I don't think we predicted them to lose to the Raiders, so it wouldn't. I mean, I can't see them being 15-1.
The Saints are a great matchup for them though, because they got that pass rush, that D line with Trey Hendrickson and Cam Jordan, bro.
And to be honest, I think that Saints game is going to give us a lot of insight as to how a potential Steelers
they'll beat the Saints
Chiefs
and lose to the
matchup will look.
Chargers that last game. Something crazy,
They're not
something
gonna lose
stupid
no
like
Chargers.
that happened.
I mean, it could, but
It's the last
I mean,
game.
if it's a rest game, sure.
I'm about to say they would do that. That would happen.
Of course, another week, another game. Balls get us started, man.
Oh man, so first I love the Titans, bro. I love what I saw. Redemption game. We finally got our punter back. Shout out Brett Kern. He had a broken wrist or whatever, bro. So when we played the Colts 2 weeks ago, he wasn't there, and it got ugly once we didn't have a punter. But what we do have is a running back, King Henry. I think he's number 2 in the MVP race behind Pat Mahomes, of course.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, I think he's number 2 in the MVP race. He had 27 carries, 158 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And the 3 touchdowns came in the first half. He could have had a 4th, but they did a read option and let Tannehill run it in. So I'm gonna have to give it to Derrick Henry, and tighten up.
Yes, sir. And so for me, I gotta go with my boy Tyreek Hill. That's my player comparison. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway,
Crackhead.
So Sunday,
Gosh.
Tyreek Hill, 13 receptions, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, 20.7 yards per reception, and he only had 15 targets. 15 targets, 13 receptions. That's what you call efficient day, good day of work. He even got on the phone, pulled a Shannon Sharp, and was like, "Help is on the way," because the Buccaneers needed all the help they could get to stop Tyreek. And not only that, he had a great game. Don't get me wrong, but that first quarter might be one of the best quarters in NFL history for a receiver. 7 targets, 7 receptions, 203 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he backflipped into the end zone on them boys, man. Tyreek Hill gets my game ball, bro. He just hooped on the Buccaneers, bro. I'm sorry.
No, most definitely. Yeah. Number 24 will definitely be unemployed after that. Yeah, that was kind of embarrassing.
And that's kind of crazy because Carlton Davis is honestly one of the better corners in the NFL going into that game. It's just speed kills, bro. I'm going to keep it that simple. Speed kills.
And on that slant, he was like, yeah, we're definitely gonna clear. We're gonna empty this side right here. We're gonna let him run. And he was like, it's a long distance for a guy that's kind of fast. But irregardless, congrats Tyreek. He didn't stick the landing, but he can't be perfect. My game ball, I love to be in the trenches. Gonna go to Joey Bosa. 8 tackles, 6 QB hits, 3 sacks, a PBU, a forced fumble. Yeah, hey, it got wicked. But the most polished pass rusher that we have in the NFL today, he continued to show it. He's just dominant. He's a fact on every play.
Just like game balls, another week means another pick 'em. And, since Josh been bugging me about it, I got a score update for you guys. So over 58 pick 'em games, Josh and Vance both have 30 correct picks. I got 24. We got, 4 weeks left for picks? So what that is, 4 weeks left, 20 more picks to go. So let's go and get right into this week's picks, starting with a key matchup, Browns at Titans. And Vance made the special request that Josh go first for all of it.
Yeah.
So,
Bro,
Josh,
he been
who
Wow.
you
good.
picking?
Yeah, I got. I'm not 8-3. The Browns, they'll get Myles Garrett back off the COVID list, so he's good for a big play on Ryan Tannehill. But the Titans are better. Give me the Titans. Hey, why this
I
man
thought
looking at me
you.
like that? Why this
I
man?
thought you was gonna pick. I thought you was gonna pick him, bro.
Ah!
I'm going with the Tennessee Football Titans, bro. Sendejo is gonna get stiff armed by Derrick Henry a few times. Roughed up. That defense not gonna be ready. Our defense is
What
gonna be
says
ready
Sendejo?
for Baker Mayfield. He's gonna throw 3 picks. I think it's gonna get ugly. Titans big.
For me, this game, I'm taking the Browns. Baker Mayfield looked really good last week in the win versus the Jags. Best game for Jarvis Landry, over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. I feel like these two teams have very similar styles. The Titans with Derrick Henry, the Browns with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So I feel like it'll be a very close game, and I feel like the Browns will pull it out in the end.
And cut. Okay, now you can say it again like you mean it, or actually you believe it. So.
Oh, yeah, I meant that. So next game, we got Rams at Cardinals.
Hey, the Rams gave up a 80-yard drive to Nick Mullins.
Ooh, hold on, Ramsey versus D Hop. That's 1-on-1. That's best on best. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm significantly more excited. Ooh. Oh, because Kyler Murray is better than Jared Goff.
Vance, he's stalling because he don't want to pick first.
I know he don't.
I didn't know for real. I really didn't know, but I'll say the Cardinals because Kyler Murray is better than Jared Goff.
Yeah, bro. Josh always try to wait to see who we pick. So
That
he
is
make
cap.
you don't be knowing, but we give,
I
we
don't
give
be
you all the
knowing.
stats. We give you all the stats.
All the stats.
Okay, I'm going first now.
reasoning.
So if I win this time, because I don't even listen to y'all like that, so whatever. But if I win this time, I get to.
Interesting.
Okay,
that's exactly
I'm gonna
what
win
you
this
say.
week too.
Okay, bro. Well, give me the Rams.
All right, okay, I like it.
I'm gonna have to agree with Vance on this one. I feel like a lot of NFL teams just kind of cracked the code on Kyler Murray and this Cardinals offense. So give me the Rams.
His little body can't handle 16 games, bro.
Hey,
Rams about to smack that boy.
Legend, bro.
Then we got Lions in their first game without Dan Patricia at the Bears.
That probably means they're better now. Where is it at?
I said at the Bears.
I'll say the Bears.
But this is crazy, bro. Every game I say so and so at so.
Oh, okay.
Where the game is.
Hey, his name Matt Patricia.
Oh, Matt Patricia. I don't know what I said.
Dan Patricia.
Oh, my
you think
bad.
about Dan
Wasn't
Patrick?
that the NASCAR driver? Oh yeah. Oh my bad.
Josh, make your pick, bro.
Bears. T.J. Hawkins. Not Bears. I almost tried it.
Dude, yeah, this is an ugly game, bro. I don't know.
It really. I don't know why we picked this one.
The Bears defense, they looked bad last week, but that was Aaron Rodgers. But they offense is gonna be horrible. I'm gonna go with the line. I trust Matt Stafford more than I trust anybody for the Bears. So give me the Lions.
Yeah,
that was funny.
I think this game is gonna come down to.
I need Kenny Galladay to play though, regardless, because he has not been busting like that for my fantasy team. I cannot lie.
So Lions should be in DeAndre Swift back this week. That's a plus to that offense. Give me the Lions in this one. And, of course, Matt Stafford, like Van said, over Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles or just that whole Bears offense in general because I just don't understand. So, next game we got Patriots at Chargers. Patriots trying to keep
so at Chargers, so it's at in L.A.
Yeah.
New England just won. I'm trying to
they had beat the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah, okay. But it's all the way out. But it's warm weather doesn't really affect them. Man, the Chargers, they just have a knack of losing games at the end. Give me the Patriots, man. They're gonna find a way to lose the game at the
end. Both defenses are gonna be really nice in this game. Herbert likes to throw it around. But the Patriots DBs are really good. I want to be different and take the Chargers, but they just going to let me down. I can feel it, so I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Yeah, for me, I'm rocking with the Patriots too. I feel like that Stephon Gilmore and Mike Williams matchup is going to be one to watch.
That's Gilmore all day.
Yeah, exactly. Because, that's what the Patriots are going to do. They're going to let J.C. Jackson take Keenan Allen, a very dynamic receiver at the end of the day. But I feel like coaching is going to be a big thing in this game, and I feel like Bill Belichick will be able to out-coach Anthony Lynn in this one and get a win. because we know Belichick has a penchant for beating up on rookie quarterbacks.
Why would they put J.C. Jackson on Keenan Allen?
Body type. Gilmore is very good at locking down the bigger, more physical receivers. You look at what he did last week against DeAndre Hopkins. I want to say he had 4 targets, 2 catches. Yeah, 4 targets, 3 catches, 26 yards when he was one-on-one with D-Hop. It's a very efficient game from Stephon Gilmore. I put Mike Williams more in that mold of receiver, so I think that's what the Patriots do for this game. Eliminate Mike Williams, contain Keenan Allen, and come out of LA with a win. And so next game we got Bills at 49ers.
49ers look good, but because they don't even have a home right now. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, the 49ers are playing in Arizona right now, so.
Yeah, bro. Give me the Bills.
Tonight y'all copying me. Look at that. See, yeah.
I feel like this is just an easy game to pick.
Swagger jacket.
49ers got Nick Mullins starting at quarterback. They had an impressive game last week against the Rams. I don't think he replicates that success. Give me the Bills and Josh Allen.
I'm just saying we're gonna know this week because I'm gonna win again this week. Y'all ain't no more excuses to be like, oh, whatever y'all be saying. I don't be listening. I be waiting.
Tied up, bro.
It is tied up at the top. I'm on my way back, so don't even worry about it. Yeah. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you like, don't like. Let us know what you want to talk about, all of that. And so
don't, because we don't care that much. They might. I don't really care that much. So don't hit me. If you wanna tell the people, if you want to tell us what you want to talk about, tell them. They got their own social medias, and we got a whole page that I run. But don't text me. Don't hit me on my stuff because I'm gonna be rude to you, and I can hurt people's feelings easily, intentionally and not. So that's only for him, not me.
Yeah, all right, for sure. So I don't know what's up with him today. He might not be back next week, but we out of here, bro.